Okay, so I'm gonna start up again. Hopefully you had a nice break. And I kind of just wanted to show a few more things and then will have time to do labs. And I want to give you guys enough time to like get into the system and play around and so forth. But the last thing before I start showing anything else, I just kind of wanted to go back to the home screen and we've been like um plopping around in the system and doing stuff. And I wanted to kind of show how things have gotten updated since then. We did that enrollment file. So now we can see here that we have another service request. So when I was talking about like things being submitted to TFFR and they have to take it from there, that's where we can see now that this is what they're working on. They're working on reviewing that enrollment file and doing what they need to do and that it's in progress. We also can see here that we have some payroll reports. So what I just got done doing, you can now view them here. And if you want to go and like click on them, we can see it'll open and take you straight to that employer reporter header. So I kind of just wanted to point that out really quick since we've, been doing so much and there's a lot going on that how things get updated and you can view it. So, but the first thing I want to do is I want to show you how to view and pay an invoice. So one of the ways is that you can come up here into your little hamburger menu and under finance, we have little invoice. And when you do that, it takes you to the invoice lookup screen. So this is where you can view all the different invoices and information, if you need to look up a certain one, if you want to look up one that's closed or open or paid and so forth, you can do it that way. You can look it up based off of the date or the due date. Um, Now I know I have labs set up for you guys where I've created miscellaneous ones just, for um, lab purposes today. So I know that we have that. I also know I just submitted an employer payroll, so we'll probably have some contributions that are open and that need to be paid. So I'm just going to do a blanket search. But if you want to drill down, if you knew the invoice ID, you could enter it here. But I'm going to do it this way. So I can see all the different invoices. So those employer payroll that I just did, we have the dates here with the due date and what's going on there. We have this one has been paid, this one is open. Um, let's see. And I have one set up for myself to work on, and it is this one. The other ones are set up for you guys. So I want to select this miscellaneous invoice, but also just to go back, if you wanted to pay that employer payroll, you would click here. Basically, it's going to look the same from what I'm showing you. So we'll just do it this way. So click on that ID and it takes me to the invoice maintenance screen. So this gives me more information about the actual invoice. So I can see the details, what the amount is, the invoice type, subtype, um, what has been paid on it, if any, and the status right now is open. We have here the allocated remittance. So obviously nothing has been paid, so nothing has been allocated or remitted. Um, and I apologize if I always like to give a little disclaimer. I'm not an accountant, so when I sound stupid when I say this, that's why. But I appreciate you guys for those that are accountants because you guys do my taxes for me. So I appreciate you guys. With that said, I have like if you wanted to find more information about like the invoice here, we have a little hyperlink. So this is like the net invoice amount. So you can click on that and that drives it even deeper. So you can see more information about that invoice detail, the amount details for the invoice, if there was a credit memo and so forth. So that is that. So now if I wanted to go back to the invoice, the way I can get to that is I have this little back button, back to invoice button. So I can click on that. Sorry, it's just that thing is giving me errors, so I don't know why it's doing that. It's probably temperamental today. The gremlins are in my system and I need to get them out. But with that said, I have like this little pay now. So once I'm done looking at all of this, once I'm ready to pay this invoice, I can click on that pay now button. And so when I do that, what it does is it launches the remittance request wizard. And so we've seen the wizards before, and this is now another wizard with the different steps, and it's going to walk me through it. So as you can see, I have all these different invoices open. I'm only going to pay on this one because this is all your guys' data that I've set up for you for the lab. So, you know, please only pay the one that you've been assigned. Otherwise, you're going to take it from somebody else. But like, but with that said, whatever's open, if you wanted to, like in the real world, I should say, not in my training data world, you could pay as much as you want. So if you have a couple different open ones, you would put that amount in there and pay it. So for today, I'm just going to do this one. I'm going to pay this 500 one. And then I'm going to click next. I also kind of want to talk about this. Like if you already had a deposit on file and you wanted, like if there was extra money there for whatever reason, like let's say you paid 1,000 and only like 500 was left over, you could allocate that amount to this 500. But with that, we don't have anything here. So we want to make that $500 payment. So to do that, I'm going to click next. And then that takes me to the deposit remittance detail screen. So in the deposit date, I'm going to put, I'll put Monday. And then it's the deposit type is going to be ACH. And then I'm going to do a reference number. So that's just like how you're going to reference this payment. And then it's going to ask for the bank information. So this is the bank that's on file with your organization. So you can do that. If you needed to add a bank, like maybe it's not on file, you can click that and add the bank information, but only if you have the proper security role / contact, organization contact. So I'm going to just select the bank that's on file because that's the one we're using. And then I'll click the next button. And so when I do that, it takes me to the verified and submit screen. So this is where I can view the information some more. If I needed to go back, I can, but I can see that it's ready for the bank. I can see the bank number, the deposit date, the reference number, it's valid, and so forth. And also the invoice record that I'm paying on. If you were paying more than one, it would list more than one here. So I'm just paying on invoice 54. So I'm going to click that little checkbox to certify that this is correct. And then I'll click, not click, but enter my name. And so once I do that, the submit button has populated and it's active for me, so I can submit this. And so what that does is now, is sent that information to TFFR. We can see we have the credit memo information here. And so it's creating that record. And so that TFFR knows that a deposit has been created. And like once it gets that ACH information, it'll say it's been paid and you're in the clear, right? You've paid your money. So that is how to view and pay invoices. Is there any questions about that?